My name's Bill. I'm 25 years old. I'm a mechanical engineer originally from Delaware, and I'm going to show you guys a quick tech tip here about my 1989 Volvo Swag Wagon. So if you guys come over here, take a look. This is my car. Like I said, it's an 89 Volvo 740 GL. It came stock with about 114 horsepower, but a few of those may have escaped since then. I started noticing the other day that it was acting really funny. You would start the car and it would idle really high for a brief period of time, and then it would almost die on you. You had to put the car in second gear to stick. Had to put the car in second gear, kind of let the clutch out until the RPM started to drop, and then sneak into first gear real fast, otherwise it wouldn't go in. So I started troubleshooting, and like any normal troubleshooting, the first thing you do is diagnose the wrong problem. So I looked at the mass airflow sensor, I looked at the idle air control valve, and neither of those were the issue. So I'll show you what I did to solve the problem. A cool tip for anyone here who has an 89 Volvo or similar year: if you flip these little switches right here after you pop the hood, you can actually put the hood up all the way, which is pretty cool. So like I said, I actually honed in on what the problem was. It was a faulty throttle position switch. And no, I'm not saying that incorrectly. It actually is a throttle position switch on this car. So real quick, I'm going to show you how to get to the throttle position switch. First thing you guys got to do, you're going to want to remove some vacuum lines here. So only remove as little as possible. We're going to end up removing this piece right here, the part of the intake. So first, like I said, you pull off your vacuum lines right here. It's cold outside, so don't pull too hard, you might break something. Remove these lines right here. You're almost there. You want to come back over to your mass airflow sensor. You want to press in this clip, pull it loose like that, and you're almost done. You got two quick clips right here. Grab your ratchet out and undo it from your throttle body. I may have cheated a little bit and loosened this. Let's see here. Quick little tug. Everything should come loose, just like so. Alright, want to put that out of the way. Now I'm going to show you guys something real quick that I noticed the first time that I did this. If you look right here, you'll see you have a mesh screen in front of your mass airflow sensor. Now, air is normally coming in this way. The reason for that is your mass airflow sensor is what measures the airflow coming into your car. This mesh screen is there to take the air, which could be turbulent, and smooth that out. Now that's a good thing. That's going to give you a good reading on your mass airflow sensor. Now something I realized, which I'm not going to take it apart right now, but actually on the other side was a mesh screen as well. Now for the life of me, I can't figure out why they would put that there. And not that it could add that much more horsepower, but given that this thing's probably only making 85, 90 horsepower to the wheels, I went ahead and removed that. Whether or not it helped, I don't know, but just something I saw while I was working on it. So the next step that you would normally do on the car is you come over here to the throttle body. You have your throttle position switch here on the right side. It's tough to see with the clip. And you have 1, 2, and a third stud right there. Now, rather than remove this off the car, I'm going to show you what I did on the bench. Alright guys, if we come over here to the bench, I can show you the throttle position switch that I removed from the car. Now, when I just tried this a second ago, I was not able to get it to work, which is a good thing. It shows that the switch is broken. Now, what should happen, if you come closer, you'll see, you should be able to get your multimeter. You know, normal, you got your positive and negative leads. You want to set this to resistance or continuity. Now, the way this should work is, and I got to warn you, it hasn't been working for me, is you should touch the inside and outside leads and you should see some amount of resistance, or if you have your multimeter set to pick up continuity, it'll beep just like so. Now this switch is set up to work so that at wide open throttle and idle there's continuity between the two leads. This switch is not showing either, so it's completely shot. Now this is an old style switch. I have a newer throttle body sitting over here on the bench, and I can show you what's more common. On a newer car, what you would see, if you connect the same leads, you'll see varying resistance as you open and close the throttle body. Now again, this is a newer throttle body, somewhat different. This old one is just a switch. So once I found out that I didn't have any continuity at wide open throttle or at idle, I knew the switch was bad. I picked up a new one. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you this on the car. However, first thing you want to do when you get the new throttle body is carefully take the old throttle position sensor off and replace it with a new one. Now you can't just install it anyway. You need to have the car be able to idle. So the first thing they tell you to do is install it with the throttle blade closed and slip. If you come over here, you want to slip a feeler gauge in between where the throttle actual plate and the throttle stop are right here. You want to insert a 0.25 millimeter gauge, and you want to set your set screw down to kind of get it into place. That should be able to get your idle. Now, the way these work is you're going to have two different sizes. To set this up correctly, when you open the throttle blade, you're going to hear a click of the switch. What you want to have is you want to be able to hear a click if you insert a 0.45 millimeter feeler gauge. You should be able to hear a click, and when you insert a 0.15, you should hear no click. Now, as you're doing this, you can adjust the throttle position set screw to get that point. Once you have that set up, you have your click and your no click at your 2 points. You're ready to put it back on the car. Installing it is very simple. You want to grab your part. Don't lose your parts. You want to grab your parts. Right back just like we have. Make sure you're not missing anything. Slide it back on. All right, just to wrap up, we threw the intake back on the car. You want to go over everything one more time. You want to make sure you got your mass airflow sensor plug hooked up, all your fasteners tight, vacuum hoses back in place. Remember, if there's a leak or a cut in one of these, you could have an improper idle. I checked that on this car, so I know that's not the case. But now's the moment of truth. We got our new throttle position sensor installed. Guys, we're going to fire the car up real quick and see how she idles. As you can see right here on the tack, you got a nice smooth idle. It's a little bit cold, but it's not surging high at all. It's not dropping down too low. Idling right around 750, 800 RPM. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, that was a little tech tip of my '89 Volvo Swag Wagon throttle position sensor replacement.